Kamala Harris, according to a poll, is the clear frontrunner to be the Democratic nominee for president in 2028. Let me explain to you why that doesn't mean a thing. Okay, so first of all, I'm in Boston. Hello, Boston. Second, there's a poll from Echelon Insights, great firm. Kristen Soltis Anderson is a great Republican pollster, terrific, does terrific stuff. So they asked for the first time, although I know some people are like, oh, 2028, but they asked a 2028 ballot question. Who would you vote for? Very open-ended. And the findings were Kamala Harris 41%, Gavin Newsom 8%, Josh Shapiro 7%, Pete Buttigieg 6%, and then a million other people who you can think of and name below that, but all in single digits. And one of the most fascinating things about this is the reaction it has caused, particularly on the right. I was just searching through X, and the reaction is unbelievable. It's like, I can't believe Democrats are going to do this again. They think Kamala Harris is so great. They're gonna renominate her. What rubes? Look, I don't think they're going to renominate her, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But let me tell you what this poll shows. All right, this is what you should take from this poll. This is 100% name identification. People know Kamala Harris's name because she was the vice president for 4 years, and she was just the Democratic presidential nominee and was in ads all over the place and interviews and media coverage. Right? People know her name. Democrats know her name at this point. And that's why she's at 41%. This is not a huge vote of confidence in Kamala Harris. This is a function of the fact that, yes, Gavin Newsom is the governor of California. Yes, I have followed his career and think he will run for president. But the average person is not super aware of Gavin Newsom, even the average Democrat. Same thing with Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania. Same thing with Pete Buttigieg. Even though he ran for president, he's in the administration, he's on TV. People just don't know who these people are because guess what? Lots of people do not follow politics super closely. So when they hear a list of names or they're asked to say, who do you think you would vote for? They're going to say the name they know because the election is 4 years from now-ish, and they're not thinking about it, so they're just going to choose the name they know. So the reaction on the right that this poll is indicative that Democrats are going to nominate Harris, and oh boy, what idiots they are, and can't believe they're doing that after the terrible campaign she ran. Again, we can debate that, but they're missing the point entirely. All this poll shows is that people know Kamala Harris's name. That's it. All right, now on to the broader, what does Kamala Harris do next conversation. So I do not think Democrats will nominate her in 2028. In fact, I don't even think she'll run in 2028. I think losing to Donald Trump will be a mark against her in a lot of activist and major donors' eyes. The fact that she didn't come particularly close, she lost all 7 swing states. She's going to lose the popular vote, although Trump is now below 50% in the popular vote, but he's still ahead of Harris. All of that, even though I think a lot of people lay the blame for her loss on Joe Biden, on the economy, less on her, although I think she bears some element of the blame, I think it's going to fall on her. I think she's going to wind up being the person who is like, you let Donald Trump win. In the same way that Hillary Clinton wasn't a candidate in 2020, right? It was kind of like you had your chance. I just don't think Democrats are going to go back to Kamala Harris and say, yes, this is the person that we want to nominate. She did not, I don't think, distinguish herself as a candidate. And then the result obviously is the thing you can't get by. And yes, of course we can explain it away 100 different ways. Just like I always, when my kids' team loses 1-0 in soccer, I'm always like, we were the better side and we had more chances. But yes, those things may all be true, but the point is it's 1 for them and 0 for you. And that's a win for them and a loss for you. And that's how politics works too, right? Like we can justify, oh, Kamala Harris was dealt a bad hand in the economy, and you can blame the media and disinformation. You can blame all those things. The point is she lost and he won convincingly, right? Won every battleground state, improved his margin in 48 out of the 50 states from 2020. Sweeping victory. Republicans took control of the Senate. Republicans held the House. So that is a thing that Kamala Harris is going to have to sort of bear. And that's why I just don't think 2028 is realistic for her, even though I know there's a poll that has her in first place right now. Again, just name ID. That is not about people saying, yes, we're going to vote for her. what is a reasonable path for Kamala Harris? Well, she's 60. And I don't think going to leave politics entirely, although I guess I could be wrong. So she will be out of office January 20th, 2025, a couple months from now. I think it will be too appealing for her to pass up that the California governor's seat will be open. Gavin Newsom, aforementioned Gavin Newsom, who's probably going to run for president in 2028, he will be term limited out after 2 terms as governor of California. So there'll be an open seat race there. Now, there's been a little bit of polling done, and Harris is someone that lots and lots of Democrats would like to see run for governor in that state. And the reality is, she's the sort of big figure in that race, too, because people know her name, right? California, in some ways, is a microcosm of the country. People don't pay that much attention to politics, so having voters know your name matters hugely when it comes to whether you win or lose. So the other people who are potentially in the race, Katie Porter, the former congresswoman who lost a Senate race to Adam Schiff, the lieutenant governor, the former mayor of Los Angeles, all these people are just not as well known as Harris. So she would go into the race as the clear frontrunner, and I don't think that's something that she can resist, because when you're a Democratic frontrunner for governor in California, you're the frontrunner for governor of California. And there's been 16 years of Democratic rule. Even though Trump made some gains in California between 2020 and 2024, he still lost considerably. So a Democrat is very likely to win the California governor's race, and I think Harris would like her to be that person. So that would be in November of 2026. If she wins that and serves 4 years and then gets reelected, which is a possibility, she'll be in her sort of mid-60s at that point. And in 2032, she would be mid her second term, which is exactly the kind of time that governors run for president again. Now, in order for her to kind of rehab her image and her brand and herself, she'd have to be seen as doing innovative, interesting things in the state of California, winning elections, helping Democrats win elections in California. But that's not that hard because it's California. Democrats are going to probably win elections there. So if I had to guess, I think Kamala Harris, she either runs for governor of California in 2026, which signals she wants back in to run for president probably in 2032, or she says, you know what, I've never made a bunch of money in my life. I need to. I'm going to go in the private sector. And then that's probably it for her. I think in order for her to be a viable 2032 candidate, and I don't think she's a viable 2028 candidate, in order for her to be a viable 2032 candidate, she needs to have 4 years at least of being in elected office where things go pretty well and she gets some good publicity. Because right now her brand is pretty damaged. So she either runs for governor in 2026, I think, or opts out of politics entirely. If she runs for governor, maybe she runs for president again, depending on how it goes. If she opts out entirely, she's probably done and is in the private sector, maybe, has some ceremonial roles within the Democratic Party, but nothing in elected office. So that's my Kamala Harris take. Point being, do not assume a poll done in November 2024 about the 2028 field tells you anything other than whose name do people know right now, not who they're going to vote for. Okay. It's always ask you to do 4 things. 1, subscribe to this channel. We are on the march to 50,000 people. We're less than 2,000 subscribers away from 50,000. Love to have you. If you can, subscribe. Like this video. Just give it the double thumbs. 1 or double. Thank you, fireworks. 3, comment on this video, particularly about those amazing fireworks. And 4, tell 10 friends. All right, everybody, take care of yourselves. I'll be back in my humble abode tomorrow.